Congressman Tonko. U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer. And please rise and welcome the 57th Governor of the State of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning, and welcome to New York Creates. We're delighted that you all could join us here today, and it's a special honor to again host New York State Governor Hochul, United States Senate Majority Leader Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, Congressman Tonko, and the many other dignitaries that are in the room today. We could not have gotten here without all of your support. Thank you very much. Today is a momentous day. For nearly 4 years, New York Creates has worked tirelessly to make today a reality. And we're proud of these efforts are starting to pay off. I want to take just a brief minute first to thank the incredible New York Creates team for all their hard work and dedication to get us here. None of this happens without you. Thank you very much. It also could not have happened without Senator Schumer. We're extremely grateful for your fierce advocacy for New York's innovation ecosystem. And we also would not be here today without Governor Hochul's leadership and strategic vision for New York. And Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Tonko, thank you for the support in getting us here also. As most of you know, New York Creates operates some of the most advanced facilities for semiconductor R&D in the world, right here at the Albany Nanotech Complex. We continually drive next-generation innovations, facilitate workforce development, and drive regional economic development. Since its inception, more than $25 billion have been invested in this site. This is where cutting-edge technologies are first invented, and we're not slowing down. Currently under construction next door, our High-NA EUV Center, announced by Governor Hochul in December, combined with Senator Schumer's U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, are the historic 1-2 punch that makes today's news possible. We look forward to working closely with our industry partners, engaging with new collaborations, and working with NatCast and the CHIPS Office to drive the next era of American leadership in technology. Accelerating semiconductor R&D is critical to all of us, to our way of life, to our future, and to national and economic security. New York Creates is proud to be America's high-tech accelerator. And with that, please give a warm welcome to Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer.
Well, thank you so much, Dave, and thank you. Will you raise your hand if you're part of the New York Creates team? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Job well done. Now, this is an amazing, amazing day. I'm almost out of breath. I am so excited about this announcement. It's a landmark day for the Capital Region, for New York, and for the United States of America. I am proud to announce that America's first National Semiconductor Technology Center will be right here at Albany Nanotech. This will bring a whopping $825 million from the feds, and that's only the beginning. This is a dawn of a new day for the Capital Region, for upstate New York, for America. It's a turning point for American leadership in technology and manufacturing. And Albany Nanotech, as the NSTC, will be the beating heart of that center. The whole world will look right here, the Capital Region, to see the next developments in chip research, advanced chip research. NSTC will be the headquarters for the most advanced chip research, not just for the country, but for the whole world. China, we're not letting you catch up to us. That's what we're saying here, loud and clear. The NSTC are going to bring new companies from around the world to Albany to do research, the top scientists, the top universities, and my favorite four-letter word, J-O-B-S, jobs. There are going to be so many companies here in America, whether they're in Silicon Valley or somewhere else, and around the world, that are going to now be looking here to come. The number of new companies that will come to upstate New York is going to be amazing because of this center. Lots of new jobs, good-paying jobs, and jobs with a future. Now, this is a very sweet treat for us on Halloween. When I was a kid in Brooklyn, we always knew what houses on the block gave out the full-sized candy bar, like this 100 grand I am holding up here. Full-sized, they said. But when you're Senate Majority Leader, you can do a lot better than 100 grand. This Halloween, I'm delivering an $825 million bar. A lot more than 100 grand. This is even better when I held up the bag of potato chips at Global Foundries. I held that one up upside down. I didn't do that here. So, folks, frankly, this is a dream for Albany Nano, for the Capital Region, for upstate New York, and for me come true. I crafted the NSTC program with Albany Nanotech in mind. When I wrote this law, I was thinking of right here, saying we can write this law and then we can make us the center. I crafted the program with Albany Nanotech as my North Star, as my inspiration. I worked meticulously, like a game of chess, to put the pieces in place and help land this once-in-a-generation award. All of us in this room have touted the revolutionary work that goes on in this campus. Let's be honest, when I started out on this venture, a lot of people were skeptical. They said, you're never going to be able to compete with Silicon Valley. They're going to get the NSTC. That's the place where it belongs, but not us. Why Albany? Why is it not Silicon Valley? Well, first, nowhere in the country like this is a place where public and private come together to make discoveries for the common good. Collaborative and open source. That's the beauty of this. We're not saying only one company or only one university or only one group will get the benefits here. All the great research done here, because it's been done collaboratively by so many great companies and so many great universities, will be available to lots of new startup companies here in the Capital Region and upstate New York and everywhere else. The open source part of this helped us win. There were several other companies that wanted to do it all themselves, but we knew that they would be the only ones to benefit. We said no. This is going to be democratic, small d. Anybody can come and contribute, and that's what's going to make this a success. So the first reason, we were so successful was open source. The second reason, we had the majority leader. I made my case to Secretary Raimondo, to federal officials, to President Biden several times. We had federal official after federal official, Anderson was getting sick of hosting them, come here, one after the other after the other. Why'd we make them come here? We knew when they saw what we saw that we'd win. Yes, we had the majority leader, but we had the merits of the case. We had the best machinery, the best scientists, and the collaborative approach. It was a beautiful coming together. And I knew that we would win. So today, good old Uncle Sam is saying the future of semiconductor research in America and for the world will be right here in Albany. It is so great. It is so great. I could jump for joy. But you remember, I'm not a good jumper. Remember the motto of my basketball team at Madison High School? We may be small, but we're slow. So I'm not jumping for joy. So let's get into some of the great scientific work that's going on here. The initial $825 million will build out the equipment for Albany Nanotech's EUV research. EUV stands for Extreme Ultraviolet Lithography. This is one case where extreme is good. This is some of the most advanced technology in the world and critical to all semiconductor manufacturing. It uses light to print microchips much smaller than anyone can see. It was the breakthrough that allowed us to get these chips to be nanoscopic. When I first came here, maybe over a decade ago, IBM had just worked, and thank you, IBM, you've been a great leader here, to get the 2 nanometer chip, 2 micron, whatever it is, 2 micron nanometer chip. Did I say it right? Nanometer, okay, got it. Anyway, that little tiny thing that no one could see. But that was a huge breakthrough. But now we're going much further. Albany Nano will be the only public high NA extreme ultraviolet lithography center in North America. And I want to thank you, Governor Hochul. I'll have more to say about your fantastic work later, but you've been a great partner in this. And but let me take a moment to talk about why getting this research investment is going to benefit every corner of New York, not just the capital region, but all of New York, particularly upstate New York. The NST's hub will complete my vision of upstate New York's I-90 corridor becoming America's semiconductor superhighway. We've seen historic investment from my CHIPS law. So many new companies. Micron's big investment in Syracuse, Wolfspeed in Utica, Global Foundries and IBM here in the capital region, Edwards Vacuum in Western New York. And all of these companies need places to train their workers and improve their technology. And that's what NSTC will do right here in their backyard. We want to become both the research and, we've wanted to become both the research and manufacturing center of advanced semiconductor chips. We've already made great progress on advanced manufacturing. We have Mr. Caulfield here of Global Foundries, who's expanding his operation right here in Saratoga County. But now we'll be #1 in research as well. What a powerful 1-2 punch. First in research, first in manufacturing. It's estimated that approximately 25% of all the new chips made in America will be made within 3 miles of the I-90 corridor, running from Buffalo to Rochester to Syracuse to Utica to Albany, and then down into the Hudson Valley with onsemi and IBM and other companies there, and great stuff on Long Island too. So, upstate New York is emerging as the next Silicon Valley. For decades, we had the heartbreaking experience of watching parents at the airport wave goodbye to their kids because they couldn't find a job in upstate New York. It broke your heart. The kids wanted to live here. They know what a beautiful life it is here, but there were no good paying jobs for them. Now the opposite is coming. Not only will our kids get the jobs, but thousands and thousands of kids are going to wave goodbye to their parents in California, in Texas, in other places, and said, I'm going to upstate New York. So it's a great, great reversal. And without the CHIPS and Science Law, none of it would be possible. We know that. And I want to thank my great friends and congressional colleagues who helped. Senator Gillibrand has been a great, great partner throughout these activities. So I thank her for her good work. And Congressman Tonko has been steadfast with the CHIPS and Science Law. Once we passed it in the Senate, we got some help there too. So, and you know, just as Albany Nano has a great staff, I have a great staff. But I want to single out two people who really this couldn't have happened without. John Cardinal from my staff, and this is now his greatest claim to fame. His greatest claim to fame until now, he was mayor of Ogdensburg for a day. He was mayor for a day when he was in high school. He's from Ogdensburg, up there in the North Country. But it's a blessing that he is on our staff. And he lives and breathes CHIPS and Science, and it wouldn't have happened without him. And just as we have to have a Washington and a New York partnership to get this done, you all know, we all love Steve Mann, who has been our regional representative since I started in 1999. He's worked for me for 25 years. I knew him before he was married, before his kids were born, but he was always a Yankee fan. He's still loyal, and I have the worst thing I can say about Steve Mann. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan. Ooh. Go Bills. Okay, so let me just say this. This is not just, the NSTC is not just a win for New York. It is. It's going to bring us jobs. It's going to make us one of the centers of the world in top-notch semiconductor research. But this is a win for America. We passed this bill at the federal level because we need chips for our national security. We need chips for our economic security. We need chips to make sure America stays ahead. As we all know, for years, we lost chip manufacturing overseas. And we remember how chip shortages during the pandemic skyrocketed prices. You had to wait months to buy a car, get a computer. We can't rely on the rest of the world for this technology, and we especially cannot let China dominate this industry. China's seeing this investment today and knows that America is serious now about remaining #1 in technology. And they know it's going to be hard to keep up with the amazing workers and innovators here at Albany Nanotech. The NSTC will be how we reach the next frontier, how we make breakthroughs that engineers today can't even fathom, like the 2-nanometer chip IBM developed here. Said it right the second time, because I read it instead of trying to. But it was the first in the world. Today, the feds are stepping up to meet the moment, to make sure America stays on top, to make sure our future is stamped made in America, made in upstate New York, not made in China. Albany Nano will help usher in this next era of American manufacturing, research, and innovation. I'm proud to have landed the NSTC right here in upstate New York. I came up here many times and worked with all of you to say we got to get this done, and together we succeeded. It's such a great day. So, I now want to introduce and thank as well my dear friend Governor Kathy Hochul. In all of this semiconductor stuff, New York couldn't have had a better leader, and I couldn't have had a better partner. She really knows her stuff. She studies it. She works so diligently, and she figures out how we can make New York a leader. So when we have competition, there were lots of people who wanted to make themselves this center, this NSTC center. Lots of states competed. But we had the advantage of having a governor who knew how to give New York that leg up. And she did it relentlessly, and she did it in her own way, quietly, persistently, effectively. She doesn't get the credit she deserves for so many different things that she does. On this one, I want to give her the credit that she truly deserves for the great partnership that we've had and for the great success we've shared today. Governor Hochul. Want my candy bar? Oh,
You can leave me the candy bar.
I wanted my candy bar, but I forgot. I threw it into the audience.
Right,
Yeah, we'll keep the big one.
all right.
Thank you.
I'm a chocoholic. I'm not sure I'm going to part with this.
Yes, you are. Our partnership only goes so far.
You know, let's also give credit to the Senator Schumer props team. The innovation. Talk about innovation. Talk about innovation. Like Majority Leader Schumer, I am speechless about what today means. I truly am. Because at the beginning of my administration, I set forth a vision to reclaim and exceed the manufacturing era that had been associated with this part of our state for 200 years. And we've spoken about the Erie Canal and what a phenomenal engineering feat that is, still the envy and the awe of the rest of the world. And you always wonder, are we always looking backwards, though? How do we ever top that moment? And I also grew up at a time when people saw all those industries that grew only because of the Erie Canal. You know, ports of Albany, New York City, over to Buffalo, and all the communities throughout that had their own niche. They created something. They manufactured, whether it was gloves, whether it was textiles, whether it was the steel and the automotive plants in my hometown of Buffalo. We never knew how we could regain what we had lost when all those jobs and manufacturing and the pride that was associated with that time, when it all dissipated during my youth. Because when we talk about, as the senator does, bringing back jobs to upstate, this is personal to me. This is my family's story. And to be governor at a time when, because of extraordinary partnerships, starting with President Biden and Kamala Harris, you have to have someone in the White House who understands the power of that office to use it to harness public good, but also create jobs. And have, at this moment in time, our own Chuck Schumer, as the most powerful person in the United States Senate, who has his hand on the levers of power and influence as well. That dynamic, and put together a governor who still has the scars of what it was like to lose those jobs, and now I'm so passionate about bringing them back. This is, as we've talked about before, our moment to regain that story of New York and our exceptionalism. That's what today is all about. This is why I am so proud to be here. And it's not just about the good-paying jobs, and they're extraordinarily going to be good-paying jobs. People are going to come here. But it's the spin-off effect. It's everything, the little coffee shops in downtown Albany, the restaurants, the hotels, the housing. There's a whole economic impact when you create something like this whole I-90 corridor, the I-90 Innovation Corridor. And I'm going to declare today the day that we stop saying we're going to be the next Silicon Valley, okay? People are going to be saying we want to be the next I-90 Innovation Corridor in the state of New York. I'm declaring that right now. Because we are leading the nation, but also leading the world as a global leader in manufacturing, semiconductor manufacturing. And I do want to just give enormous credit to so many people. Dave Anderson, what you've created with New York Creates is visionary. And this is going to be part of your legacy long beyond your time here. And all the people who are part of this team that we've attracted from all over the world because they know this is the place to be, nowhere else. Thank you. Thank you for helping this vision be realized. Also to our elected officials local, thank you. Our local elected officials have been recognized, my partners in government, And I also want to thank my team, Hope Knight. Thank you for being at the helm of Empire State Development when these multi-billion-dollar projects come to us and others would say, too expensive, I'm not sure we can get it through. We fortunately have your support, but also people like Pat Fahey and John McDonald who are fighting for us in our state legislature. I want to thank them as well. County Executive McCoy, Mayor Sheehan, thank you both. I know you're enormously proud of this as well, and I'm so excited to be here as we see this rebirth of Albany and this great county. So also Kevin Eunice, who has been shepherding the Micron project. A day doesn't go by where I don't think about what Micron has done for us and our national identity. And I brag about these projects nonstop. When I'm in New York City speaking before a large business forum, they know I'm going to say, did I tell you we have the largest private sector investment in American history going on right upstate? They'll hear about Micron, and they'll know about the 50,000 jobs, the $100 billion of investment. And it builds on the legacy of companies like Global Foundries. Thank you. Thank you for investing in us and continuing to expand. So you've heard from the Majority Leader how significant this is for our stature, it's for our national security, it's our identity, but also for those who grew up like I did. And life in New York meant, as he referenced, saying goodbye. I had 5 siblings, big Irish Catholic family. Every one of them wanted a job in Western New York in the 80s, and there were no jobs. Unemployment was 17%. This is a life-changing experience for people who have that knowledge of what it could have been, what it could have stayed, but for a belief that we could harness a whole new power, semiconductors, innovation, artificial intelligence, and what we're doing with this facility. And to have the recognition after starting in 2017, Chuck Schumer saw a vision for this region to build on what was already done here and say, why not have the nation focus this energy, this research, this talent, all right here in our state's capital. And that is what today is all about. Do not underestimate the power of this announcement. This is transformational. We'll look back on this day years from now and all the research and the young people want to get their hands on and owning a piece and innovating a piece of the future. They'll be coming to Albany and to our state for this opportunity, $825 million. That is amazing. Thank you, Chuck Schumer, for believing in us. Thank you for never giving up the fight, never giving up the fight for this as well. So we've gone from rusty factories to beautiful clean rooms, a place where people's possibilities are just absolutely unlimited. And I'm so proud to be here because those days of my hopeless childhood, the boarded up downtowns, people leaving home, are way behind us. And I'm going to continue leaning hard into advanced manufacturing and the innovation economy because this is where John King is going to make sure that every single student who is born as a New Yorker has a shot at getting a world-class education. That sets us apart when you have John King leading our SUNY system. I want to give you another round of applause, John, because you are innovating how we deliver education, the SUNY and CUNY systems. So I'm going to wrap up with that because I'm just on a big bite of that candy bar. But I'm just so proud. I'm really proud. We've talked about this a long time. And you had to do what you had to do in Washington. I remember visiting everybody from the president to his chief of staff to Secretary Raimondo countless times. Secretary Raimondo, you're a former woman governor of another state. I need this for my state. You understand that. I mean, I was hitting it all. And she says, I know, I just got off the phone with Chuck Schumer again. The two of you just won't leave me alone. But that's what perseverance is all about. It's how we are hardwired to operate, to deliver, and that's how we get it done. Congratulations to everyone involved in this, and I want to give a special thank you to everyone involved in this. And they say teamwork makes the dream work. We have an incredible team fighting for us in our nation's capital. We have our Congressman Paul Tonko, who I serve with in Congress. I know he's been a great champion of bringing the money back here as well. But also have a senator who's from upstate, who represented this area. She knows what this means to this local economy and the people that she grew up with as well. This is deeply personal for our great Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who helped make this happen and always, always, always delivers and has our back. Let me give a round of applause to our great Senator Kirsten Gillibrand.
Well, as the Albany girl in the room, this is a day of celebration, and I really just want to pick up where the governor left off. This wouldn't have happened with pretty much every person in this room, and it's been a vision for this region for at least the last 25 years, starting with Global Foundries, starting with SUNY Nanotech, starting with IBM, starting with all of the stakeholders that are here represented. What Dave has done at New York Creates is taken those synergies, taken those leaders, taken those aspirations and vision, and put it into one place here in Albany to be the draw, to be the center, to be the collaborator. And it's worked. It's actually should be a model for the rest of the country, what's happened here. So thank you, Dave, for having that vision and having the commitment to take every one of these stakeholders' aspirations and combine them to create this unbelievable outcome for our region. Thank you. Now, I want to talk about the governor for 2 minutes because none of this happens without a governor who believes in it. None of it. And her life experience as someone who grew up in Western New York, her unbelievable commitment to advanced manufacturing, to see Made in America right here in upstate New York and across New York, has been her guiding light throughout this entire process. She understands what it's like for a community not to have the opportunities and the unbelievable level of innovation to spur investment over generations. And that's what she's seen, and that's what she's creating, and that's been her vision for this state the entire time she's been our governor. And she has been able to collaborate across not only the entire state, but across every stakeholder in the room, with RPI, with SUNY, with all the advanced manufacturers, with Global Foundries and IBM. But she's also cared deeply about how we use her state resources combined with the federal resources she could have you apply for and get into this state to make the difference of creating these jobs. So, Kathy, none of this would happen without you. If we didn't have a partner in the state to be the steward, to be the vision, to be the one who implements and executes what needs to happen on the ground, none of this would be possible. So thank you so much for being the leader that you are. Now, the rest of my speech is going to be focused on Senator Schumer. And I can't tell you, as his partner in Washington, he is not only a kid in a candy shop right now, but he just won the World Series. Like, this is everything he's always dreamed of. And, you know, he took you through what he and his team, I've worked with John Cardinal forever. They've been working on this for a decade. They knew what upstate New York had to offer. He's watched what's been happening here his entire time as senator for New York. And as somebody who lives downstate, who comes upstate, he's always looking for what makes sense. He's always looking for, what do you have that no one else has? Well, upstate New York has a lot of things that no one else has. I remember when we were vying for Global Foundries, we were competing with Germany because it was the only two places on the planet that had the geological ability to be quiet, to be able to do this level of chip manufacturing, this level of advanced manufacturing. And so we won out in that competition. And Senator Schumer has seen that with what SUNY Nanotech has been able to build, what Global Foundries has been able to build, what he's bringing to Micron in Syracuse, what he's watching IBM be able to invest, he's been putting these chess pieces together for over a decade to say, how do I write a piece of legislation, a hallmark piece of legislation that takes the benefits and takes the leadership of a region and uses it to its greatest good? He's seen it. He's placed the pieces over decades. This is not a small thing. The reason why he's giddy is because every effort he's made over many years is coming to fruition in this one investment. And as he said, this is just the beginning. This is not the end. This is part of a very long line of investments he hopes to bring back to upstate New York and particularly to the Albany region. Now, I know how exciting this is. I visit all of the schools. I visit, Hudson Valley Community College, all of our educational, from our high schools to our magnet schools, to HVCC, to SUNY Albany, to RPI, to the entire region. They are poised to train the workers, to keep young people here, to have this investment long term. And that's all been part of what Senator Schumer has designed. So I just want to thank you, Senator Schumer, for caring about this region, for loving upstate New York as much as you love every other part of the state. Thank you for seeing our strength and our resilience and our ability. We also have the ability to grow. Silicon Valley can't grow another inch. Its real estate has outpriced manufacturing. We have unlimited ability to do advanced manufacturing in upstate New York. It's unlimited. It can go on for many decades. So I just want to thank you, Senator Schumer. I want to thank our leaders in this room. And I just want Albany to feel this moment of extraordinary hope and opportunity, and congratulations for the hard work that everyone's put in over many, many decades. God bless you all, and congratulations. Now I get to bring up my other partner in crime, Paul Tonko, who without his partnership in the House, you can't get anything done in the Senate if you can't get it done in the House. He knows this region, he knows how important it is, and this is his area of expertise. Paul Tonko.
Thank you, Senator. Well, good morning, everyone. What exciting news. Are we happy? I guess so. Thank you so much. This is it's a thrill to be here and to share with all who've made this possible, and to be an engineer working as a rep on the Hill in Washington is such a great feeling, and to represent a district that's so invested in an innovation economy, a precision economy, a clean energy economy. It just keeps growing. And as the original Tech Valley of the Erie Canal, we now offer this layer of a new era. And so all of that activity to connect a great ocean with the Great Lakes that inspired the development of mill towns along the stretch of the canal, they became the epicenters of invention and innovation. And today we step up to that new era of opportunity. So I do thank David from all of the work that you've done, Dave Anderson, with the whole effort for New York Creates, just putting together a tremendous vehicle. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for being a great partner and providing that fertile ground of investment that we have here in New York and in a very special way in the upstate area. To both Senators Schumer and Gillibrand, thank you for great leadership in the Senate. Thank you for great vision. Thank you for work that's done to make certain that we go forward with the technical expertise that keeps clustering in this area. And to all who have made major efforts, our Chancellor, John King, thank you so much. To SUNY Albany President Javier Rodriguez, thank you for your leadership in the higher ed arena and as Chancellor. So all of these efforts help make this investment a reality for the capital region and for the entire upstate and entire New York and the nation. This is a great step forward. And in the years since Congress passed the CHIPS and Science Act, I've been relentlessly advocating alongside the many stakeholders who call New York Creates home to leverage this shovel-ready infrastructure and advance R&D capabilities right here at the Albany Nanotech Complex. When people were all talking about the buzz of where we would locate this center, it became very obvious that we had a lot of strength in the fact that we're doing the advanced manufacturing, doing the R&D, preparing the workforce through our many settings of apprenticeships and matriculation at our community colleges and our four-year institutions. But I don't think anyone here is surprised that New York Creates has been chosen to lead the very first CHIPS for American R&D flagship facility here in our great United States, especially when it comes to extreme ultraviolet lithography. We've been telling anyone who would listen, anyone, President Biden, Vice President Harris, certainly Secretary Raimondo, anyone in Washington that was available, we made certain they heard that we were really pushing hard for this effort, and reasonably so, justifiably so. We are set now for this industry pioneer, uniquely positioned to propel long-term American semiconductor innovation. And with last year's announcement of a $10 billion partnership with IBM, with Micron, with Applied Materials, with Tokyo Electron, and others to establish a next-generation high-NA extreme ultraviolet lithography center, the first and only publicly owned center in North America, it just made tremendous sense that New York's capital region would be the linchpin for national efforts to coordinate the NSDC activities around EUV lithography. So it's been a pleasure to work with our senators, to work in our House with my assignments on science and tech and energy and commerce. Here and only here will our industry partners have access to the most advanced semiconductor equipment ever made within the most highly developed semiconductor ecosystem in our nation. The CHIPS for America Extreme Ultraviolet Accelerator and the estimated $825 million investment in the Albany Nanotech Complex will bring even more jobs, even more investment, even more opportunity to a region already booming with activity. As part of the CHIPS discussion, I was proud that my Microelectronics Research for Energy Innovation Act was folded into the effort that will complement future EUV R&D as we work to manufacture even smaller, even faster and more efficient microchips. As we shrink those chip components, it's important to continue to think futuristically, not to settle with the moment, but to be prepared to have the tools in the kit. It's what the effort that I made was all about. But this celebration would not be possible without the tireless work of Congress and the Biden-Harris administration to invest billions of dollars through the CHIPS and Science Act. And again, thank you, Senator Schumer, for all of the efforts. Let's make certain that we as partners in government, in academia, in industry, continue to invest in the pioneering spirit of innovation that the Capital Region has long exemplified. And I know that speaking on behalf of those that I serve in the New York delegation in the House are extremely excited about this effort, making certain that we all put muscle into this effort and celebrate this moment, knowing that it's going to ripple effect into many, many other great benefits that will serve our region well. Congratulations again to New York Creates, and let's go forward with progress.